Majesty will be presented with a bottle of this rather special beer. It is a gift from the family of a young Irish guardsman who fell in the Great War. Harry Robert Shaw asked his family to buy his comrades a drink if he failed to return, and that wish turned into a bequest to the Irish Guards, whose colour is being trooped today with the help of Clonmel, their mascot, to mark the Queen's official birthday. And today's parade really is dominated by the Irish Guards. Here they come, led by their regimental mascot, Clonmel, looking very smart today, with some 300 Irish Guardsmen on parade. And the honour of trooping the colour this year goes to the 1st Battalion Irish Guards, a regiment formed in 1900, a long distinguished record of service, reminding us before this event starts that this is of course a colourful parade, but much more than that, these are operational soldiers on parade today. The Guards Memorial at the edge of St James's Park reminding us of lives lost and of lives still being lost. 71 deaths of armed forces personnel in Iraq and Afghanistan since we met last year. The latest just yesterday. The Welsh Guards, currently on their tour in Afghanistan, have suffered losses. Lieutenant Mark Everson, Lance Sergeant Toby Fafus were with us here on the parade last year. Sadly, they lost their lives very recently. We are hoping that the Welsh Guards are with us, keeping us company, enjoying the parade thousands of miles away in Helmand province, and we'll be joining them in a short while. At Buckingham Palace, the household cavalry and the mounted bands waiting to escort the Queen along the Mall, 2 horse guards. Just a thought, a century ago, in 1909, very heavy rainstorms in central London. The King's Parade, Edward VII's parade, was cancelled. A few drops of water this morning, but I have to say it's looking very good now, and that'll be a huge relief to the man who will be commanding today's parade. He's been talking to Claire Balding.
Well, this is privileged access because I've come backstage to the stables to meet the 2 men who will be centre stage. This is Lieutenant Colonel Ben Farrell, he's the commanding officer, and this is Wellesley, who is going to be in a fairly exposed position, both of you.
Yeah, he is, and I suppose more so I am on the top of Wellesley. He's a young horse, and we've rehearsed a lot, so fingers crossed he's going to be good today.
And you are right in the middle of the square, and you have to do this long rein back, going backwards.
Yeah, and Wellesley had never done it. He'd never reined back in his life because he's only 5, before a month ago, but so far he's been very, very good, and so fingers crossed for today he's going to be good. His big match temperament will be tested.
Good boy, and you've got watching from the sidelines 2 rather smaller people. Over here, your son and daughter, who are they?
This is Freddie, and this is Tilly.
Well, Freddie and Tilly, I hope you enjoy it. And obviously your father has been serving in the army for many years now, but we've also been following the progress of some guardsmen who have only just passed out. This is their story over the last few months at Catterick.
Came from Londonderry, now I'm here.
The young men arriving at the infantry training centre in Catterick will be here for 28 weeks.
Everyone that's joining the Irish Guards, all right, stay in 3 ranks as you are and follow me.
Dean John Taylor. I'm 21, I'm from Londonderry. I reckon it's going to be hard. Been there for 2 days so far. I've made a good couple of mates. We're all having a laugh, and I'm actually enjoying myself. And it's something I've wanted to do for a long time.
Solomon Moebia. I'm from Uganda. I joined the Irish Guards because I wanted something more challenging. I was a fisherman before and I was a cowboy, and when they told me the Irish Guards are a bit like that, I said, wow, I can join that.
Just because they're learning section attacks out here doesn't mean that's the only thing they're learning. They're also learning how to instinctively react to words of command.
Contact front!
For the Queen's birthday parade, for example, when they're given a word of command on the drill square, they react instantaneously to it. There, it is for the cameras and looks good. When they come out to somewhere like this, it could potentially save a life.
Trainee guardsman Hayward, 24 years old, and I come from Coventry. It's very hard work. It's the hardest work I've done in my life, has to be. At the end there, I just couldn't breathe properly at all. It was so hard. The other thing that lets me down is the weather. I'm wearing 2 pairs of gloves on now at the moment.
Life for the Irish Guards, it is tough. Like when I came back from Christmas, I wanted to go home again. But a couple of mates, they actually brought me round to my senses, brought me back to my old self. So they did.
I'm gonna go to the operations. I might be taken anywhere. So when I do this, I do it 100% because I know there's a lot more to come. And I'm looking forward to the operations as well.
From stepping off the train 28 weeks later, some of them are going to be on the Queen's Birthday Parade, which is one of the biggest spectacles in the world. But in, the next heartbeat, take off the tunic, put on your combats and get onto the front line with your bayonets fixed like everybody else.
This makes me feel very proud. I feel like the proudest man on earth at the moment. This is what I've been working for through the whole of the training.
It's unique. It feels good. It's amazing. It's so smart. You look really good, and everyone will know you are special.
Back home, a lot of people don't expect you to go far in your life. They just expect you to be on the dole. But it takes a bigger man to be able to stand outside Buckingham Palace for hours without moving. It is a great honour to be able to do that there, and being able to come from Northern Ireland and get on and move on with my life.
The unbounded pride of Guardsman Dean Taylor. There he is now ready for today's parade, just one of more than 500 guardsmen and officers here today. Let's take a look across the expanse of the parade ground. You might notice a big change this year. There are 7 guards taking part. That's for the first time since 1967. And part of the reason for the increase is in fact the strength of the Irish Guards who've been recruiting very successfully over the past year. So to underline the point, the 1st Battalion Irish Guards are providing the escort and numbers 2 and numbers 3 and numbers 4 guards. And if we follow the L shape, we have number 7 guard, comprised of men from number 7 Company Coldstream Guards. They provided the escort 2 years ago. Next to them, number 6 guard, comprised of men from F Company Scots Guards. The battalion has served in Iraq and Afghanistan in the past 2 years. 10 of their number this year are from Fiji. And around we come to number 5 guard, comprised of men from Nijmegen Company Grenadier Guards. Guardsmen on parade today will be serving in Afghanistan before the end of the year. Let's take a closer look at the colour being trooped today. The Queen's colour of the 1st Battalion Irish Guards. It is the 9th Queen's colour to be held by the 1st Battalion. The colour party there in place, protecting the colour in effect until it is ready to be trooped through the ranks a little bit later. Colour Sergeant Steve O'Stevenson, 2 sentries, Guardsman Michael McCluskey and Otis Charles. The colour representing really the spirit and history of the regiment carries 21 battle honours, the latest of which is Iraq 2003. And the new colours presented by the Queen at Windsor Castle just last month.
These colours, on which is now emblazoned a new battle honour for the invasion of Iraq, are symbolic of the renewed spirit which describes the Irish Guards. They serve as a reminder to us all of the gallantry of the past and as an inspiration for the future, whatever it may hold. As your Colonel-in-Chief, I wish you well in the challenges which surely lie ahead. May God bless you all.
The Queen speaking at Windsor last month, and among those listening to Her Majesty's words on that day was Colonel Charlie Knaggs, a former commanding officer of the 1st Battalion Irish Guards who took charge of this parade back in 2005 as field officer. Let's take a look. Well, that was 4 years ago. His service abroad since that time has included a period in Afghanistan where he led the Helmand Task Force. And I'm delighted to say that Colonel Charlie Knaggs is one of my expert guests today. Charlie, it's very good to have you with us.
Hugh, it's great to be here.
We know about the display, you know about the parade, you know it very well. It is really more than just music and ceremony.
Well, Hugh, it's the official celebration of Her Majesty the Queen's birthday. It's a very personal moment for the troops of the House of Divisional, and especially the Irish Guardsmen on parade, on duty, on a really important ceremonial task, and the spotlight's on them.
And you know all about the spotlight, Charlie, because the spotlight, of course, today is on the field officer, Lieutenant Colonel Ben Farrell, talking to Claire a little earlier. And, of course, we know that today he's got to remember lots of orders and he's got to really get a grip on this parade. He's been telling us that the guardsmen have marched around their parade square in Windsor some 78 times as they rehearsed for the parade today.
The Irish Guards have already provided the escort to the Queen's Birthday Parade on 11 previous occasions, the first of which was 1902. This will be our 12th. The last time we did the escort was in 2005, and thereafter the battalion has been deployed in Iraq. It came back from there, and at the beginning of this year, we have taken up the ceremonial duties, which we'll do for a concentrated period of time before reverting back to our operational role to do Afghanistan next year. This year we're providing the escort to the colour. We're also providing number 2 guard, number 3 guard and number 4 guard.
On parade today I've got about 280 Irish guardsmen actually parading. And out of that I would say certainly 55, not 60% of the battalion on parade have never touched ceremonial duties before.
A lot of time spent getting the confidence in the young guardsmen. Some were only 17, 18-year-old men who've been asked to provide quite a spectacular parade for the Queen herself. She knows the parade very well, she knows our job very well, so everyone's under a lot of pressure to make sure this thing works.
And I've been with the Irish Guards from the start of December, but I've never done any ceremonial as big as the Queen's Birthday Parade. There's been a lot of drill, a lot of getting all the uniforms sorted out, getting it all so we look smart in the day. We want to impress everyone, make sure you do it all right. It'll feel great to treat the colour for the Queen and that. I'll feel dead proud and be glad to be part of it.
I'll be the ensign to the colour, so I'll be carrying the Queen's colour. It means an enormous amount to me, especially since I've only been in battalion sort of 4 months. The big thing for me is probably the flourish. That's quite important to get that right. In the grand scheme of things, all these things are relatively simple, but it's very easy to get something simple wrong, and that'll spoil the day. So getting that flourish right is absolutely vital, I think.
If we can get 2 guys in the drill square, 8 guys, 12 guys, 16 guys or 280 guys in the drill square to work together on one word of command, that achieves a lot. So you can crack it in the drill square on simple words of command, I'm sure they can crack it under contact in Afghanistan.
All the preparations and all the hard work, and the first royal procession is about to leave Buckingham Palace. And in this first procession we have Prince William and Prince Harry with the Duchess of Cornwall. All the focus there at the palace, so let's join Claire.
Thank you, Hugh. I've actually walked down through St James's Park and it's tremendous excitement amongst the crowd there. They estimate around about 25,000 people are lining the route, and I met people out there from America, from Australia, from Poland, from Austria, and that was just in a really short space. They're very excited in particular about seeing the Queen, but obviously also looking out for the Duchess of Cornwall and for Princes William and Harry. And Buckingham Palace, this magnificent structure that was built in 1703 originally for the Duke of Buckingham, the sovereign's escort there in front of it, and there are 775 rooms in there. But Her Majesty the Queen herself is about to leave Buckingham Palace to make her way down through those crowds. They will get their moment, they will get their photograph, and they will get to see our monarch as she makes her way towards Horse Guards Parade.
The field officers, trumpeter, the sovereign's escort, giving the royal salute and signalling the Queen's departure from Buckingham Palace. Queen attending the 57th birthday parade of her reign, which is quite a remarkable statistic. Duke of Edinburgh, who's just celebrated his 88th birthday just last week, Colonel of the Grenadier Guards since 1975. Number 3 Guard on Horse Guards has reformed, opened ranks, ready to greet the first royal carriage when they arrive, and there'll be a shortened version of the national anthem to greet them. Very much an Irish parade today, as we've said, and for the first time in 9 years we have the drums and pipes of the Irish Guards and the pipes and drums of the Scots Guards playing together. Very special combination, playing together at the Queen's Birthday Parade.
In reports from the Great War, it said, music warmed the hearts of the soldiers and fired their blood whenever they heard the strains of Irish music.
It has a magic in it and gives them that strength of arm and that endurance of soul which makes them invincible.
The pipes, there's something about the pipes that really fires people's blood. It was designed as an instrument of war.
When you see them marching past, they seem to rise a little bit more. The arms start to give a little bit more swagger, and the neck's back in the collar, and they really seem to enjoy themselves.
I suppose pipes evoke a tremendous sense of tradition because they play the traditional music.
The pipes in the operational role are twinned as a machine gun platoon along with our corps of drums. We have a lot of history in the band with Iraq. I have 4 blokes killed from the one platoon. Really did hit the platoon quite hard. And now in 2009 we're thinking of the 4 of them. And I've no doubt that they'll be looking down upon us, hopefully raising a glass. And no doubt looking out for any little mistakes that we may make.
I think for the younger soldiers that are on parade for the first time, it's very difficult memorising the music for a start. But once they've been through a few rehearsals, then they start to enjoy it a little bit more.
In this year's Trooping the Colour, I've tried to create a flavour of Ireland, and I think to have the mix of traditional pipe music with the mass bands should make it just a wonderful sound.
And the first royal carriage is approaching. Princes William and Harry and the Duchess of Cornwall in the first carriage. Prince Harry today wearing his Operational Service Medal from Afghanistan. And that shortened version of the anthem, bringing me to my other expert guest today, the former Senior Director of Music, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Owen. Bob, it's good to have you with us again today.
Good morning to you, Hugh.
What are you looking forward to?
Well, of course, the music plays such an integral part of this parade, and I haven't heard the rehearsals. We're in for some wonderful music today, and of course a very strong Irish flavour. This is what I call happy music, or foot-tapping music, and will of course bring out the very best in the marching troops.
We're looking forward to it. Bob, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hugh.
This time last year, we were looking forward to seeing the 1st Battalion Welsh Guards trooping their colour. There are no Welsh Guards on parade today. They're on a 6-month tour of duty in Afghanistan. They left RAF Bryce Norton some 2 months ago. They've been having a pretty challenging time.
We're in Afghanistan as part of a multinational force which is designed to bring security and stability to this country. Afghanistan has always been the centre of a tinderbox in this unstable part of the world, and we're here to try and do something about that.
The tour has been challenging. When we first came out of Afghanistan, we lost a couple of guys within the first couple of weeks. That knocked the battalion back, but since then we've got on with it. We've knuckled down. The boys are stepping up to the mark, and they're doing extremely well.
I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that some of the young lads that we have on the battalion here have grown up into men quite quickly.
I've been in the Welsh Guards about 2 months now, so I'm pretty much new in the game. It's a bit nerve-wracking, especially when you hear the radio going off like that. The Afghan, they're planning to do a little attack on us. Your heart starts to race and you're always scanning the tree lines are ready to assault anything that may try to assault you. The most scariest thing I've ever done.
It's really hard, especially coming to a place that you're not familiar with.
with the climate and everything, and leaving your family back home. But then you feel a great sense of pride that you're helping people who are not so lucky to achieve the same level of freedom that you have.
A day doesn't go by if I'm not thinking of my wife, my children, or any member of my family. It doesn't get any easier, but we've got a job to do. Time goes a lot faster for us here than I'm sure what it does back at home for the family.
We are primarily foot soldiers and infanteers, and that is what we train for. We do have the other side where we are in our red tunics and bearskins, and that is a huge honour to do.
I did a trooping of the colour last year as part of the escort. Not everyone is chosen to do the trooping of the colour, and to be part of the escort was a big thing for me.
On the trooping the colour, you've got everyone watching you, including Her Majesty. You're carrying that colour out on your own, and you've got all the pressure of everybody watching you. Here, you're not on your own like that. It's a part of a big team. The pressure is constant every day to day as the situation changes.
Well, it'll make me immensely proud to see my brother Billy, who's on parade today as the Garrison Sergeant Major. In all honesty, I don't think there's a person in the British Army that could say they're the same standards as my brother when it comes to ceremonial duties. Billy, I just hope that the parade goes extremely well for you today. I'm sure between yourself and the Regimental Sergeant Major of the Irish Guard, you would have pulled it together, and it'd be a classic as it always is.
A very encouraging message from Major Nicky Mott in Afghanistan to his brother, Garrison Sergeant Major Bill Mott, whose responsibility it is to make sure that this parade is flawless. And Bill Mott's standards, of course, are legendary by now. He knows that his fellow Welsh Guardsmen are keeping a very close eye on things, even thousands of miles away. And we're going to try to make contact now with Lieutenant Colonel Rupert Thornlow of the 1st Battalion Welsh Guards. Rupert, it's good to have you with us. What are you looking forward to today?
Hello, Hugh. Yeah, very much looking forward to seeing the parade. Reminds us all of home.
And what are the men there? What's the mood there among the men? It's been a tough 2 months for you so far.
It has. It's been a very busy couple of months, but we're upbeat. This is a task we believe in, and I think we all think we're doing extremely well. It's a good opportunity today for a few of us who are able to take a break from our duties to watch the parade, and it reminds us of our place on the parade, which we took a major role in the last 3 years.
Rupert, really good to have you with us. Thank you. Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh enjoying the sunshine. The Queen who first took the salute back in 1951 when she was just 25 as Princess Elizabeth. She stood in for her father George VI, who was ill at that time. Mark Hargreaves, who's the head coachman. It's his job to get the Queen and the Duke onto the parade ground precisely on time for 11 o'clock. The Chelsea pensioners stand to greet Her Majesty. Queen and the Duke followed by the Royal Colonels. Prince of Wales, he's been Colonel of the Welsh Guards since 1975, Duke of Kent and the Princess Royal. The head coachman salutes the colour as he passes. The field officer in brigade waiting, Lieutenant Colonel Ben Farrell, preparing to order the royal salute on the Queen's official birthday. Well, the Queen's first task at the birthday parade is to inspect the line of guards, to take a very close look at the guards. And as she does so, the mass bands will be playing some of the tunes that they've been rehearsing so well. Senior Director of Music is Lieutenant Colonel Graham Jones of the Coldstream Guards, who is Bob Owen's successor. It's his second birthday parade as Senior Director of Music. And Bob, a lot of weight on his shoulders, as you know.
A huge weight on his shoulders, Hugh. A very special occasion for him. It's the position that any director of music in the army would aspire to, and after months of preparation and planning, he'll be very much looking forward to this moment.
A word about the music.
Well, he's about to conduct the music for the inspection of the line, which will set the tone for the whole parade. The first piece is called Songs of the Old Country, which, along with much of the music on parade today, has been composed or specially arranged by Major Philip Shannon, the current Director of Music of the Irish Guards. And surprisingly, Hugh, the first Irishman to be their Director of Music.
Queen wearing the regimental brooch of the Irish Guards, reflecting the responsibility of the Irish Guards today, of course, providing 4 of the guards and the escort itself. Queen is the Colonel-in-Chief of all 7 regiments of the Household Division, and the Guards regiments are in effect her official bodyguards, her personal troops. Very soon the music will change as the Queen turns the corner, round number 7 guard there. And a good moment, Charlie, to ask you about Her Majesty's expertise, because it's pretty well unmatched.
Hugh, she is the ultimate expert, and what we would want her to see here is highly trained, immaculately turned out, and some very experienced guardsmen, bursting with pride and confidence, and a confidence in themselves as individuals and the team as a whole.
There's a lot of pressure on people today, so can you enjoy it while you're actually out there?
Hugh, you can. It's a special moment. You've got to be on your guard the whole time. There's no room for complacency. But you know, you're on parade with your monarch, actually on parade with her. Each guardsman wants to be the tallest, the smartest. Very hard to prepare for a moment like this, but you'll see in the mix a gleam in the eye and perhaps a sense of the unexpected.
Rousing sound of the pipes as the Queen's coachman salutes the sovereign standard of the Life Guards, followed by the Royal Colonels. Major General William Cubitt, late of the Irish Guards, who took over the position in June 2007 from Sir Sebastian Roberts. So the inspection of the line is over, and it leads us to the next phase of this birthday parade, and the focus now really is on the massed bands, because this is their first big moment.
Mass bands! centre! So, back!
Les Huguenots by Meyerbeer gives way to the quick march, the Ulster Division by Marks. And right away, the lone drummer breaks away, marches to that position which will be to the right of the escort. This marks the next phase of the parade, really, when the lone drummer gets ready to beat the drummer's call. Lance Corporal John Smiley, who served in Iraq in 2007 and will deploy to Afghanistan as a machine gun commander later this year. The drummer's call, an echo of the days when all battlefield commands were given by a drum beat. Guardsman Scott Astbury marches forward to take the Regimental Sergeant Major's pace stick, allowing him to draw his sword.
Escort for the colour! In close order! Left! Dress!
The subaltern, Lieutenant Sam O'Gorman, gives the order as the escort prepares to march forward to collect the colour. The eyes front, achieved with no word of command.
Escort for the colour! By the left! Quick march!
All the energy, all the dynamism of the British Grenadiers, arranged by Cappy. We watch the escort marching forward, ready to collect the colour eventually. It's a good moment, Charlie, to ask you really about how these men relate their ceremonial duties to the fact that they could within months be out in Afghanistan.
What we're looking at here is battle drills of days gone by. A different military task, but on operations in Afghanistan at the moment, for example the Welsh Guards, there's another set of drills and they're under the spotlight in very different circumstances, very challenging conditions. And the operations there still rely on the individual soldier working within that team, where each man and woman needs to know exactly what he or she is on. They must have confidence in the task they're asked to do, confidence in the kit and equipment, which I'm glad to say is right up to the job now, and trust in his fellow soldiers.
The escort marches soon stop, music will stop. The next phase will begin.
Escort for the colour! In open order! Right! Dress!
Westward will be sire! About time! Turn! Change! On! Slow! On!
So the Regimental Sergeant Major, Ross Martin, marching from the rear of the escort, and he will collect the ensign today, 2nd Lieutenant Andrew Campbell, and they will both march forward towards the colour, taking possession of it, ready to troop it down the ranks. The ensign takes the colour.
Escort to the colour. Present. Arms. Escort to the colour. No! Arms!
So the escort for the colour has now become the escort to the colour. The terminology has changed to signify the change of possession, and they prepare to troop the colour through the ranks. First such occasion, of course, for the Irish Guards since 2005.
Escort to the colour. Hey! Arms! Escort to the colour. By the centre. No! Guard!
So the escort advances in slow time. The music is Escort to the Colour, arranged by Lieutenant Colonel Ridings. And if we look to the left there, we see that the mass bands have a rather peculiar challenge to manoeuvre sharply in a very limited space. It's called the spin wheel. It provokes lots of interest among viewers every year. Bob, what can you tell us about the mystery of it?
Well, Hugh, this is the mass bands of over 200 people need to change direction left by 90 degrees, and this is done in a very tight space. This manoeuvre is performed in slow time, as you say, to the escort to the colour, and at one stage everybody is doing a different drill movement. It would take the rest of this programme to explain exactly how this is achieved, so I'll just say it is achieved through a great deal of practice and the experience of the musicians from within the ranks. You also will never see this performed anywhere else in the world.
Music now is the Grenadiers' Slow March, arranged by Harris. And as the colour passes different sections of the crowd here on Horse Guards, they will stand and salute, including all the dignitaries, the military attachés and all the guests here today. Such a proud moment, of course, for the ensign today, Second Lieutenant Andrew Campbell from County Tipperary, who has the honour of trooping the colour through the ranks, the new Queen's colour, and there's no doubt he is certainly aware of the tradition and the proud history that he's representing today.
Well, on the birthday parade, I'll be the ensign to the colour, so I'll be carrying the Queen's colour. It's an enormous honour. Well, I'm from Tipperary in Ireland, and it's always been an ambition of mine to join the army and to join the Irish Guards. It's an enormously humbling experience to be given the chance to do it with our new colour and carrying it and all that it represents. It's a fantastic thing, really. You know, something I'll never forget. Something I'll definitely remember for the rest of my life.
We look at the colour, Charlie, and we look at the battle honours there, we remember that 2003 and 2007, 4 soldiers lost from the regiment, all from the drums and pipes, and 4 losses obviously, but 4 among many others too.
Here they were, and that's just the sacrifice we see enshrined in those colours. We've got veterans I know watching from World War II, brave men from Burma, Northwest Europe. There's an Irish guardsman who I know is watching right now at home. Just last week he was in St Charles de Percy in Normandy. Here's another Irish guardsman, exploits and braveries, and their sacrifices, as I say, are enshrined in those battle honours. He would hope that we've learned the lessons of his experiences. Those people's families are also watching, you know, and there'll be people watching who've got families serving abroad right now. The colours are a really important symbol for the regiment of our service, past, present and future.
Halt! Escort to the colour will advance. Left! Right! Escort to the colour. Change! Arms!
The officers take post and the colour will move to the rear of the escort, ready for the march past.
Numbers 1, 2, 5 guards will retire. Arm out. Turn. At the halt. Right form. Quick march.
The music is Hazelmere, arranged by Burkitt and played by the Corps of Drums, as we prepare for the next stage in the Queen's Birthday Parade, when the guards will march past the Queen and she will take the salute.
Numbers 1, 2, 5 guards will advance. Arm out. Turn. Guards will march past in slow and quick time. By the left. Slower. March.
Field officer gives his order for the slow march to begin. The music, the ceremonial parade march by Mollendorf. This is the neutral slow march. We'll have the regimental marches when the guards pass the saluting base. Some remarkable and very moving stories related to lots of the men on parade today. And the escort, of course, in the limelight. Charlie, Lance Corporal Stephen Lomas, what can you tell us about him?
Well, Stephen's in the front rank of the escort at the moment, been in 5 years. Left school at 16 with 12 GCSEs, a bright young man there. He's marching today having made a superb recovery from an injury to his foot, shrapnel from a roadside bomb in Iraq. Following this, he goes on a promotion course this summer, and then the autumn will return to take command of a section of 8 men on operations.
Enjoying the parade from the Duke of Wellington's old office, Prince William and the other royal guests there. Field officer and the major of the parade leading the escort. The major of the parade is Major Fabian Roberts. He's the younger brother of Major General Sir Sebastian Roberts, the colonel of the Irish Guards. Number 2 guard in place and ready for that march past. And we're having a very, very good look here at these smart young men as they parade. Charlie, what makes a good guardsman?
Well, Hugh, you know, I was struck by watching those young men under training just now. Ordinary people, local boys from their hometowns, but each one of them with something about them. Teamwork, determination, and you saw those experienced instructors who helped them get through their tough training to get them here on parade today.
Her Majesty waiting for the guards to be ready, and when she stands, the Duke stands, it'll be the signal that Her Majesty is ready to take the salute. The colour has already moved to the front of the escort, and they're marking time. There's the signal that the march past can begin. Field officer and major of the parade salute together. The Queen will acknowledge. The ensign lowers the standard. It's what's called the flourish. And as we see the flourish, let's just remind ourselves it's only the 12th time since their formation in 1900 that the Irish Guards have trooped their colour. The first time was in 1902. Guard, which is number 2 company, the 1st Battalion Irish Guards. We're still listening to the Irish Guards slow march, Let Erin Remember. The music will change when the Grenadier Guards step up. Grenadier Guards slow march, Scipio by Handel. My Megan Company, Grenadier Guards. Their Colonel, the Duke of Edinburgh. Scots Guards, the garb of Old Gaul, composed by General John Reid. The F Company Scots Guards. And the 7th Guard today, past the saluting base. The number 7 Company Coldstream Guards. Their slow march is Mozart's Figaro. The adjutant of the parade, Captain James Bullock Webster, gives his salute. So the field officer, Ben Farrell, rides out to inform Her Majesty that the march past in slow time is complete. The Queen has acknowledged the salute. The field officer will ride across the parade ground as the guards will reform. Everyone getting ready for that march past in quick time. Let's join Claire.
Huge sense of excitement down here, and I think in danger of stealing the whole show is Clonmel over there, who's the regimental mascot. You've seen him already in action in his very own uniform. Irish wolfhounds are, on average, the tallest breed in the world. They originally bred to be war dogs, to drag a man off a horse or off a chariot. His handler is Lance Corporal Sammy Venart, and together they make quite a team.
Clonmel is the Irish Guards mascot. He marches in front of the regimental band when we're on the likes of the Queen's birthday parade. He's 3-year-old, but he's been with the battalion for just over a year now. When he's on parade, he's quite calm, but once he's got his combat jacket on and he's in camp, he likes to roll about, play about. It's Clonmel's first Queen's birthday parade, and it'll be my first and with the dog, so hopefully everything goes well and he doesn't look about or lie down on parade.
Great change of tempo. We hope that Clonmel approves. The pipers move forward in their distinctive saffron kilts. Pipes and drums of the Scots Guards, and the drums and pipes of the Irish Guards. Mix march arranged by Henderson. It's what we call a neutral quick march. The distinction, Bob, is interesting, isn't it? They're rousing these neutral marches, but they're not the regimental marches.
No, they're not, Hugh, but this is just to prepare them as they get up to the saluting dais, where they will go into the regimental marches. And of course, the regimental marches are as old as the regiment itself, and very much part of their regimental history. Every member of the regiment get to know and recognise their own marches, and certain soldiers certainly march better to their own marches, and there is no better example of this than on today's parade.
Charlie, how do you feel when you hear the St. Patrick's Day March?
You Irish Guardsmen have just been waiting for Paddy's Day to strike up. Marching past Her Majesty. You want your guard to be the tallest, the smartest, the straightest. Watch them as they go past. As the regimental march strikes up, they'll grow a couple of inches, and then you'll see the swagger come in.
Prime Minister Gordon Brown and his wife Sarah enjoying the parade today. Probably a bit of relaxation after a very turbulent few, and enjoying the sunshine just a few yards away from number 10 Downing Street, where they are in the stands there. escort steps forward. 60% of the Irish Guardsmen on parade today have never done ceremonial duties before. St. Patrick's Day, the great sound of the pipes, giving way to the Grenadier Guards' quick march. Scots Guards' quick march, heel and leddy. Coldstream quick march, Miller Nullo. It's number 7 Company Coldstream Guards. Salute Her Majesty. Once again, the field officer rides out and salutes the Queen. The march past in quick time has been completed. As commanding officer of the Irish Guards, Ben Farrell has, I must say, seemed to take the approach today in a rather confident and fairly relaxed way, and he's been telling us about his preparations.
Hugely privileged to be the commander of Trooping the Colour of the Queen's Birthday Parade in a year. We've received our new colours of a regiment that I've been in for nearly 20 years. I try and encourage each and every soldier to go out there and think, look at me, I am individually the smartest man here, and they stand up and feel 10 feet tall and really deeply proud of what they're doing today. And so I hope we really have achieved a level of preparation where they shouldn't be nervous. Time will tell.
Well, we think he can be pretty proud of what's gone on so far, and among the 8,000 people here on Horse Guards today are Ben's wife and children, and we saw them earlier as we were chatting to Claire Balding. We were talking earlier about the Queen presenting the colours to the Irish Guards at Windsor Castle, and Charlie, in that speech, she underlined the importance of family support to everyone involved.
Hugh, our families are really, really important to us. The nation recognises our soldiers, we talk about heroes, but the unsung heroes and heroines are our wives and children and families. And we really owe it to them. I certainly owe it to my family, who suffered months of separation.
The officers are given the order to take post, and the colour is now taken to the front of the escort as we prepare for the dramatic entrance of the mounted bands.
Come in open order, left and right, back. Right, hand. Right,
bands of the Household Cavalry move onto the parade on the north side. Magnificent sight of those two wonderful drum horses, Spartacus and Achilles. And they're led by the Director of Music, Captain Kevin Davis of the Life Guards. The huge noise of these guns now rolling forward as the King's Troop make their way into the parade. Those horses have been standing quietly for a couple of hours now under the trees, all of them groomed to perfection, their manes hogged, their coats clipped, and they look magnificent. It's the 12th year that the King's Troop has been on parade. They join the ceremony at Horse Guards on the request of the royal family. There are 52 mounted troops, 76 horses pulling 6 guns, 3 of them ridden and 3 of them led.
Commanding Officer Major Neil Cross, his first time on parade as Commanding Officer of the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. Took command in January this year. They salute the Queen. Acknowledges the lead gun, which, as we say, is the colour for the troop. It gauges the same respect as the Guards' colour. So the Queen acknowledges the first section, the first pair of guns. Guns, by the way, which saw service in the Great War. Royal Artillery Slow March give way to the Regimental Slow March of the Life Guards. Standard lowered by the standard bearer. Principal standard bearer is Warrant Officer Class 2 Squadron Corporal Major Bruce Davidson, who's been with the regiment for 20 years. Sovereign's escort. Field Officer is Major Tom Armitage of the Life Guards this year. Music changes to the Blues and Royals. Captain is Captain James de St. John Price. Colonel, the Princess Royal. And at the rear we have the farriers with their glinting axes. The Life Guards farrier has a black plume. And Bob, we know about your musical expertise, but you also have a family link to the farriers.
I was hoping you weren't going to actually mention that, Hugh. Yes, my father was a farrier, and I joined the Lifeguards in 1971. I took the easy option. I became a musician.
Trumpeter there is Lance Corporal James McDougall. The trumpeter's always on grey horses so they can be seen in battle by their officers, and they tend to be the better schooled horses. The King's Troop trotting through there. It is remarkably difficult to ride well when you're in jackboots that have been waxed so they're so stiff, and also the gloves have been waxed up. And of course you're carrying a sword in your right hand. Over the Household Cavalry, they're dealing with their helmets as well. I tried one on the other day and you can barely see a thing. But it is a wonderful sight, and Her Majesty the Queen has such a keen understanding and appreciation of horses. Tremendous strength among these horses as well, to be pulling those guns weighing about 1.5 tons. And they have a fabulous temperament. They play them very loud music in the stables at St John's Wood to desensitize them to sound, and the same is true on Knightsbridge at the barracks of the Household Cavalry. And if you spot an extra big horse in there with the Household Cavalry, that'll be Hugo. He's on his first Queen's Birthday Parade. He's 19 hands 1, which is massive. It's right off the scale of a measuring stick. Number of reins in their hands, and you can see there how stiff the gloves are, and it's the trick is to put your reins in position and then just make sure you don't drop them, because if you drop them there aren't many people around to help you put them back in again. And the riding standard really is good, considering that a lot of these men did not ride at all before they came into the Lifeguards or the Blues and Royals. They undergo an equitation course that brings them up to standard, and they're looking fabulous today.
Captain Kevin Davis, Director of Music, the Band of the Lifeguards, salutes, and the kettle drummers cross their sticks in their form of salute. And a word from you, Bob, because you are in a unique position. You've conducted at this parade in 2 capacities. Tell us.
Yes, as well as being Senior Director of Music when I was with the Scots Guards, I was also Director of Music of the Blues and Royals, but I actually started my career as a musician in the Lifeguards, where I rode and played tuba on the front rank there, and nothing has changed to this day.
Which do you prefer, Bob, to be on foot or on horseback?
Definitely on foot, Hugh. Definitely on
How did
foot.
I know you were going to say that?
But I'm in full of admiration for these guys. They are actually a unique organisation and very professional in whatever they do, and they are very, very loyal to their regiments.
Royal salute! Present! Arms!
And there's Garrison Sergeant Major Bill Mott. His vantage point in the approach road, ready to tell the field officer that the route is clear. Just making a few last-minute adjustments and a few last-minute checks. And a new departure for the Welsh Guards this year. If we look carefully there, warrant officers of the Welsh Guards wearing a feather plume in their bearskin for the very first time. That's Bill Mott's own initiative. Field officer prepares to tell Her Majesty that the parade is over. And the first royal party to leave Horse Guards Parade, make their way down the Mall back to the palace. That party includes Prince William, Prince Harry and the Duchess of Cornwall. The massed bands are on the move and the Queen is making her way. And just a word, Charlie, because of your particular experience as a former field officer. You know, the field officer rides fairly closely to the Queen's carriage as she leaves the parade ground. Are there any words shared at all?
No words shared, just a huge feeling of satisfaction Ben will have at the moment. I think it's a great task. He's done really well done, and all that hard work, detailed preparation, rehearsals have really paid off. He'll be feeling really proud, and he's just got to get him down the mile now. March of music, Erin My Home, arranged by Major Philip Shannon. Bob, your verdict on the music today?
Well, as always, first class. Absolutely fantastic. I think Major Philip Shannon, the Director of Music of the Irish Guard, has done a superb job in arranging and composing the music for this.
Leaves Horse Guards after the 57th birthday parade of her reign, leading the troops back down the Mall to Buckingham Palace, where the royal family, of course, will make that traditional appearance on the balcony to watch the birthday flypast by the RAF and to enjoy the 41-gun salute in nearby Green Park by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery.
Amongst the interested observers here watching the Queen's birthday parade, Jules Holland, I suspect with a particular ear on the music.
Well, the whole spectacle was fantastic and beautiful to see, but the music is one of the things I really like. My great-grandfather always had military music. He loved it. And so we used to hear that, and there's a beautiful sound, you know, and also, of course, the fact that the music is setting the rhythm for everything that's happening. Everything, all the marches, the tempo that everybody's moving around is being set by the drums. And so it's a fantastic thing. The music is almost guiding the whole performance today, which is fantastic.
Yeah, like a sort of a dance around it. Was there one bit in particular that you thought, oh, that's special?
I love the drum horses. I think they're so beautiful. And in fact, and it was you told me, Claire, that one of them is about to retire, Spartacus.
Yes.
But when you see them, I mean, they're just beautiful things with their great big feet and the reins being pulled by the down there instead of up here. I mean, I think they're just great with the drums seated on them. But there's something about when the tempo starts, and you know whether it's going to be fast or slow, that and then the whole spectacle starts off like a magical, fantastic, great dance, really.
Well, lovely to see you here, and I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. Thanks, Jules.
Making their way into Green Park, the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery ready to fire that royal salute on the Queen's birthday. Normally the royal salute of 21 rounds, but because they're in a royal park, they add an additional 20, making it a 41 gun salute. As the Queen and the Duke make their way back to Buckingham Palace, members of the royal family have appeared on the balcony to greet the huge crowds who are drifting down from St James's Park around the Queen Victoria Memorial. Police estimating that there are some 25,000 people gathered around the Mall and the royal parks today to enjoy the birthday parade, and of course that means that they have to manage that crowd as it makes its way towards the palace. Her Majesty the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh emerge on the balcony to greet the crowds and of course to enjoy the treat, which is the flypast by the RAF. Leading the way, the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, 3 historic aircraft from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, the Lancaster leading the Spitfire and the Hurricane. The Lancaster captain is Squadron Leader Stuart Reid. It's his 10th and final season with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight as the bomber leader. Squadron Leader Al Pinner flying the Spitfire and Wing Commander Ian Lang flying the Hurricane. And what a contrast. 6 Eurofighter Typhoons, the RAF's newest fighter aircraft, representing each of the 4 squadrons based at RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire. A formation of 4 Tornado GR4s. Lead pilot is Wing Commander Andy Myers, a veteran of operations in Iraq. The Nimrod MR2 from 42 Reserve Squadron at RAF Kinloss, captained by Flight Lieutenant Gary Lang. The VC-10 in-flight refueling tanker aircraft from 101 Squadron at RAF Bryce Norton, captained by Flight Lieutenant Phil Burlingham, who's flown in operations over Iraq and Afghanistan, flanked by 2 Tornado GR4s. The Sentinel R1 from number 5 Army Cooperation Squadron at RAF Waddington. Pilots are Flight Lieutenants Chris Setterfield and Richard Taylor, who just returned from the Gulf in the past few weeks. and escorted by 2 Tornado F3s. And a fantastic climax to this flypast on the Queen's Birthday Parade. 9 Hawk aircraft, the world famous Red Arrows from RAF Scampton. Queen smiles and applauds, enjoys the flypast. Duke of Edinburgh too, and the young man on the right is Charles Armstrong-Jones, who is Princess Margaret's grandson. Well, the royal family has clearly enjoyed the parade today, and they've enjoyed the flypast, and so have the vast crowds who've gathered. It's been a very good day too for the Irish Guards, whose colour was trooped today. We hope you've enjoyed with us. So from all of the BBC team at Horse Guards, goodbye.
There's a chance to revisit the subjects of the groundbreaking and award-winning BBC film The Fallen. An update on the legacy of Iraq begins now over on BBC 4.